we work so hard for so long to try and enjoy those last few years, but they're some of the worst years when we don't take care of ourselves.
If we want to live a life full of vitality and longevity, what is health? If you want great health, how do you define it? It's actually in the word.
Heal.
H-E-A-L.
Yeah.
Its ability to heal. Our bodies are constantly breaking down, but if we can actually heal faster than we're degenerating, that's how we create that longevity.
Welcome back to Let's Vent. We have another podcast from Orlando that we were able to do with Dr. Adam Bunder and Matt Benton. If you've seen Matt on social media, if you follow him on there, you would know that he is all about peptides and longevity and health right now. Matt is no stranger to the industry. He's been around for a minute running real-time marketing and real-time 360. Before that was trenchless marketing. So he's been helping the trades for more than a decade now with their marketing solutions and helping trades businesses, especially plumbers, really grow. But he partnered with Dr. Adam to get into this world of peptides. You know, as we're aging, as we're getting older, we're getting sore, aches, pains creep up on us, and our body just doesn't seem to do what it has always done in the past. And there's a lot of misinformation about peptides, and we get into that a little bit with Dr. Adam, but he's able to break down for us in a little bit of layman's terms how all of this works, what it means for us, and why it is as contractors we need to take care of our health, but also how we can help our technicians to take care of their health. Because if they're out sick, hurt, injured, they can't be out in the field helping customers in their home. So enjoy this episode. I know I really did, and I think you're going to get a lot out of it.
All right, so diving into peptides, health, the trades. I mean, this is an industry where guys use and abuse their bodies, and girls, on an ongoing basis. And there's definitely not enough attention that's brought into health, which is why I wanted to have you guys on.
Yeah.
You know, Matt, obviously you've been around the trades for a very, very long time running marketing, helping a tremendous amount of businesses grow and expand, sell profitably. You've made a big impact on this industry, and now you've made this transition into health. You've partnered with Dr. Adam to make sure that you can do that responsibly, have the professionals on your team as well. But why was this important to you now? When did you start diving into health, peptides, and making it a priority for yourself?
Yeah, it really was me. You know, at first, my health, my outlook. I'll just divulge quickly before we get started here. I'm a lot older than my wife, and I have 4 beautiful kids. And yeah, I've been in the marketing game, I think, for a long time, and I've seen a lot. But you know, it is the grind. You know, working the long hours. Early on, I was working too many hours, and I kind of got stuck in that mode. And I was taking time away from my family. I was gaining weight. I wasn't healthy. I wasn't sleeping. I thought the answer was going to the doctor, taking medicines, and that didn't help. And it was one thing after the other. So just really looking at my life and how I can, longevity. Because I want to be there, as long as I can with my beautiful bride and my wonderful children who are still young. And then along the way, I was with some clients, had some clients, and I witnessed their exit out of the marketplace with some PE money. And over the years, I know of 2 people that, a year and a half later, they died. And they worked really, really, really hard to build this legacy, and they didn't get to enjoy it.
Right.
And that was a wake-up call for me. So I knew there had to be a better way. And along the way, peptides were becoming a little more popular, and it was kind of a word, a term that was back here. But it became more popular. And when I met Dr. Adam, it's funny because I met him because my wife had frozen shoulder.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And my wife has 4 kids, natural birth, didn't have any medicine, and she was almost in tears, and she had this really bad shoulder. So we went to go see Dr. Adam, and he did.
At my house.
Yeah.
Literally, it was a call from one of our mutual friends. She's like, hey, Taylor's showing up. I was like, oh, okay.
And my thing was like, man, this sexy, beefy guy is going
to have his hands all over your wife.
Yeah, like, what's this about? What kind of voodoo do you do? So ended up helping her, and then we started talking about peptides, our passion, and I was in the gym, he was in the gym, obviously, and then, he has the biggest heart for people to take care of themselves. I mean, he really gets involved, he really, really cares. So by the grace of God, he's a great Christian man. I'm a Jesus guy myself, and we said, hey, let's do it. I represent a market that's kind of large, mainly a bunch of men and women who really could do a better job taking care of themselves so they can have a legacy and stay with their family.
Right. Yeah, I love that. And so Dr. Adam, coming from chiropractic, right? So not a medical doctor, you're not treating families and things like that in a traditional way that people would think of a doctor, but obviously still have your PhD. And I love that you already were in that kind of natural medicine, finding ways to help the body to heal itself. How did you start getting into this line of work?
Going way back. I mean, I wanted to be a doctor since I was in 3rd grade. So I broke my leg. My uncle was an orthopedic surgeon. He put my leg together and I'm like, this is what I want to do. And in fact, I get goosebumps. You can see them. They're right here. When he fixed my leg, it wasn't about just being a doctor. It was about the way that he made me feel in that moment. It was just like this, he's got me, and I felt comfort and I knew that I was going to be okay. And so since 3rd grade, I was like, that's what I want to do for people. And if there was a way that I could do that, where I could bring people to a higher level, that's ultimately what it's about. I mean, as Matt talked about, I mean, God created our bodies to heal, to function, to thrive, not to just survive, but that's most of what Americans are doing today. They're just surviving, they're just making it day to day or minute to minute. So yeah, man, I just went and honestly looking at whether I wanted to be an MD or a DO or a DC, I wanted also to have freedom. I wanted to be able to do the things that I wanted to do as a practitioner. And becoming a chiropractor actually fit my world so much better. And so I practiced for 10 years. I grew that practice to about 400, 450 patients a week, doing really well. I had a business partner. From that, we then integrated our practice. So we brought in a medical doctor, we brought in PT, and we grew that practice, and it was incredible. I ended up selling that. I was in Kansas City. After selling that, I opened up a regenerative medicine clinic in Kansas City, worked with the Chiefs. I know. Worked with the Chiefs. A lot
before
of those guys.
this, right? Yeah, okay.
Specifically Mahomes before that last Super Bowl.
And I didn't get to work with him. I worked with some of the other players. But honestly, it was about optimization. We hear in the industry so much when it comes to health and wellness, biohacking. I joked with you earlier. I was like, I just want to bring an axe out and be like, what are we hacking here? We're not trying to break things down or even to break through something. What we want to do is we want to biooptimize. Our bodies need to be optimized, and ultimately that's the goal. And my journey continued to be led down this path. My wife had chronic Lyme disease, mold toxicity, and our world fell apart. I've got 4 beautiful children as well, 3 boys and a girl. We're exactly the same in that.
3 boys and a girl?
And so
we're the same age?
Yeah, I'm gonna be 62 here. So this is what peptides will do for you. I'm just saying. No, I'm actually.
You've been using them
I'm 43. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But I got into the industry originally with like structural tissue, stem cells, exosomes, that industry, and have worked with clinics. I put together with some incredible partners training. So I train physicians. I train MDs, nurses, DOs. All across the world on peptide therapy, regenerative medicine.
Yeah, you were just in Dubai recently.
Yeah. So built a training program, spoke in Dubai to the physicians there on implementing, because in a lot of other countries, peptides aren't as familiar. And really what they are, they're amino acids. We hear about like our protein shakes that we take. Protein is basically just a whole bunch of peptides that are combined. And then if you break that down, it's just a whole bunch of amino acids. Yep. But, how they work so specifically is based on the structure of those amino acids held together by bonds. It's kind of like in our body, every signal that we have, from a heartbeat to a neurological signal, from eyes to us being able to hear each other, it's all based on signals that are happening. And the majority of those signals are going to come from peptides or amino acids or proteins, from your RNA, microRNA, DNA repair, telomeres. So we talk about longevity. It's all signaling, so when we talk about biooptimization and where we go, we have to have the resources, we have to have the orchestration, we have to have the right environment, and we have to have communication. Ultimately, that's what it's about. Yeah, I love the peptide industry just because honestly, they're so specific. It's like a lock and key, So if we want something to happen, we just have to choose the right thing, which is also very important. You need to know what's going to work, what's not. But the safety profile of peptides is phenomenal. I mean, again, our bodies make it. We have just replicated what the body's already made or doesn't make anymore,
Right.
To be able to utilize it to enhance and bring people to the next level when it comes to their health.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's, my journey starting to dive into this and learn about it was reading Tony Robbins' book, Life Force, right? And they went heavy on peptides and talking about it and just bringing awareness to it, which it was a fantastic resource for that because he reaches millions of people every year, tens of millions of people. So it was a great resource to bring more awareness to this alternative medicine and trying to bring more healthy human years back to and increasing the lifespan of people, but doing it healthily, right? Nobody wants to be old in a wheelchair and live for an extra 20 years, right? We want to be able to enjoy our lives. And, similar to what you talked about, Matt, with the contractors that you knew that exited their business and then passed away. I mean, we work so hard for so long to try and enjoy those last few years, but they're some of the worst years when we don't take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
And so I love this conversation and where it's going to go, and I love what is happening in the industry. So for people who are curious about this, where do they start?
We actually have some ebooks on our sites. We have developed a couple
place
sites.
to start.
Yeah. In fact, the number one place is a site that we developed, so actually called peptideresearcher.com.
Okay.
So peptideresearcher.com.
Free information. You can educate yourself on any peptide and have a better understanding of what it is that you're about to get into.
Yeah. And then, I can say you can go to YouTube. There's almost everything on YouTube.
Yep.
But you also have to be careful who you listen to.
100%.
I have content that's out there. Peptide Researcher is great. Legacy Bioscience is obviously a great site to go to. And again, self-educate. I think we talked about this beforehand. Like, we're now in a world when it comes to our healthcare, American's healthcare system, where eyes are opening up. People are seeing that.
Absolutely.
There's been a lot of misinformation that's been out there on what actual health is. And I think that's one of the defining things that people have to understand. I still remember, Matt, when we started talking, I mean, it's exactly what you said. You're like, man, I'm working so hard, but I just don't want to, if I have an exit, I don't want to just die.
I don't want to die.
I don't want to die. When I speak on stage, I'll ask people, I'm like, how many of you want to live? And so if you're watching, my question is, how many of you want to live to like 120 years old? How many hands do you think go up?
Very few.
Very few.
Yeah.
And then I'll go, well, how many of you want to live to, say, 90? Maybe one or two, How many of you want to live to like 60? And then like more hands will go up. I'm like, wait a second. We're coming closer to where you are now.
Yeah. Right.
So you're shortening your lifespan.
Right.
And ultimately, biooptimization is about not anti-aging. I do not like that term because there really is no such thing as anti-aging, but there is longevity. And so how can you increase that longevity? If you could live a life full of vitality and energy and optimal healing, because what is health? By definition. So if you're in the trades and in the industry, you probably have to be able to define what X, Y, and Z is to be able to know how to correct something, right? We could choose almost anything. But my question is, if we want to live a life full of vitality and longevity, what is health? If you want great health, how do you define it? It's actually in the word. It's the first four letters.
Heal.
H-E-A-L.
Yeah.
Its ability to heal. Our bodies are constantly breaking down, but if we can actually heal faster than we're degenerating, that's how we create that longevity. So it's been interesting, but yeah, why not live to 120 if you're enjoying it?
Right.
So, and there are ways to do that. Just get the body right. Stop doing the dumb things that you're doing. All health is just small changes, a little bit of time to get you the right result.
Yeah. Well, it's the compounding effect of it, right? And I know people look for the shortcuts, right? And they think that, oh, if I take this, I don't have to do the things. And that's not the case.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, we saw that with baseball in the 90s. Guys took steroids trying to get a shortcut there. But when they didn't put in the work, they just got fat.
Yeah, that's
Right? Just because you take a substance of any kind, whether illegal or not, it's not going to be the magic pill. You still have to put in the work. You still have to eat right.
Oh, absolutely.
Work out, do all those things.
Diet is critical.
Well, I mean, you can't outwork a bad diet.
Yeah,
correct.
You
diet
can't.
is probably number one.
Yeah, it's vital. I mean, and we also now are in an industry, especially with our healthcare system, where, you know, weight loss is the big craze. I mean, people talk about GLP-1s and all these, you know, they're actually just peptides,
right.
semaglutides and trizepatides, which most doctors don't even realize that they're peptides. But those, even so, are not quick fixes. I mean, the way that we go about educating on that is, it's to help you make a lifestyle choice, to break addictions, because a lot of people have food addictions. So we've got to make sure that we're changing that.
I love potato chips. That is my thing.
Don't look over there.
Yeah. Like if you give me a sandwich with no chips, I won't eat that sandwich. I'm offended. Right?
I love Oreos, so I'll throw that one out there. I love Oreos. Those are my thing. But yeah, it's about, again, choice. There will be no hormone replacement. There's going to be no peptide that is just going to magically change the outcome of somebody's health.
Right.
You have to put in the work. It's all synergistic. Yeah.
Right. No, that makes a ton of sense. So they get the free resources. They start to dive into it. They start to ask questions, which again, like it's similar to what you talked about before, COVID.
Yeah.
It allowed us to open up our eyes and just start asking questions and realize that the system that's been designed around us, they chose profit over health.
Yeah.
That's the reality.
It's a sick care system, not a healthcare system.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They make money off of keeping you alive and keeping you sick.
You're a customer.
Exactly. Right.
Yep.
And they've been paid off along the way. There's tons of information about it. It's not even a conspiracy anymore.
I was going to say,
reality.
it's not a conspiracy anymore. I mean,
No.
I think people understand it and get that.
Exactly.
Right?
The blinders are off.
They are 100%. And so it allows you to start making great decisions for yourself. How does one start to discern the bullshit from the real?
That's a tough one. Honestly, you have to find somebody, honestly.
What are your goals?
It's I think finding somebody that's authentic in their ability to help the individual, which is also sometimes hard to find.
Right.
But I mean, our resource for that is the next level. I mean, it's the next level is it's a coaching consulting company that we have to help people understand. I mean, I've turned people away because they're not willing to actually make change or even really want to understand what they're going to be putting in their body or what they're going to be utilizing, which again, those are the people that just want that quick fix. So I think just self-educate yourself and try to figure it out for yourself. Don't rely on a doctor to tell you what it is. Don't rely on just a health coach. I would rather somebody question me on something and me say, actually, I have no idea what that is. Let me go figure it out and come back to you, than just somebody be like, yeah, you're right. So I think that's the biggest thing. It's hard to get through that milieu of trash that's out there. But when you start diving in enough, and I know that not everybody has time to dive in all the time. I get it. I mean, this is my life. This is what I do. But just start listening. And when you start hearing some contradicting things out there, question those contradicting things.
Right.
And then dive into that a little bit more. Mm-hmm. That's all I've done to really educate myself and to learn and then share. Yeah.
I mean, we follow each other on Facebook, and I'll by design on purpose make cryptic posts just to throw it out there.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated by the responses. And if anybody watches my posts, just understand I love you, but I'm trying to gather some data. Some people come back to me and go, I want that. How do I get it? And I'm like, what does it do? Then I'll reply to them lovingly, well, what do you want to do? What are your goals? And you need to do your own research.
Right.
Like, we got to get away from like, oh, he said it, I believe it, let's do it.
Right.
People have to get in and do the research and go, do I want better mental health? Do I want to lose weight? Do I want to put on muscle? Do I want just better overall wellness? Like, what are your goals? So I think once you define your goals and then you do the research and maybe you talk to a Dr. Adam and get coaching from him. I'm not involved in coaching. Surprise. But you can put yourself on a better path. And as I mentioned to you when we first walked up here, you had mentioned, Matt, how's your back doing? By the way, thank you. That was very kind. it's been a real pain. But, I was in Cancun, and I did this picture, and Adam was having me bulk up, and I was bulking up, and I'm 5'9", and I got to about 222, and I looked pretty beefy.
You were looking jacked.
Yeah. I was pretty beefy. And then I, for some reason, I had a lateral slip in my lower spine, and that just turned. I couldn't pick a box off the floor, and it's been that lateral shift happened on June 17th. Adam and I devised another plan. I can't work out. I'm at 222. I don't want to have this convert to fat. So he set me on this protocol. And here we are. This is November? No, this is not November. I need
that. Was November.
Yeah. But here we are, February.
Sounds like we need some peptides for the brain right now.
Here we are, February, and today I'm 182, so that's like 40 some pounds. But so once you understand what you want to do, you have your goals, then you can put together a plan, and that's the best way to go. And it's like he said, it's a lifestyle change. Mm-hmm. It's not a magic pill. It's not overnight. You got to put the work in. But if you change your lifestyle, and you can hit all your goals, so you can enjoy your life.
Well, and it's so easy when something like that happens that derails us from our plans, our goals, that we can easily just say, well, fuck it.
It wasn't meant for me.
Yeah,
or just
going to mail it in.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have gone down this path anyways. What a waste of time all that was. Yeah. And you instead pivoted, and I think a big testament is that of who you are, first and foremost. But
thank you.
Walk through that mental shift that you had to go through, because I imagine it was incredibly, well, obviously debilitating physically, but also mentally.
Yeah. Well, there was a period where I literally couldn't even walk. I mean, I had the nerve, so my body adjusted, and now I'm doing a lot better. But I wanted to look like this, and what I got is this. I don't know.
Great.
But I told myself and my wife and my family, like, I'm not a complainer, and I want to give my family and my wife the best version of me. They don't deserve a moper, a complainer, someone who's angry and bitter. I want to give my family the life that they deserve. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to change my mindset, my lifestyle. So it was funny. The other day, my wife goes, wow, you're looking so good. And I'm like, thank you. I'm going from a muscular body. I'm going to be more of an athletic body.
There you go.
And it sounded ridiculous, but that's kind of what I want to do. So now I'm going to try to be more athletic and work on my core, my core muscles to stabilize my lower back.
Right.
I think that's my plan.
Yeah, I think anytime we go through transition when it comes to our health, there's the mental aspect of it. It's what can we do, what can't we do? I think those are big things that really we have to adjust towards. And knowing that, so a lot of people, what we'll get is like, well, I can't do that. Mm-hmm. Well, why can't you?
Right.
Well, I've already tried X. I'm like, but have you tried this? Or we wait until something happens. Like, I mean, how many guys do we know that, they have the heart attack or they have the stroke, and it's like, now I need to make a change. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Procrastination is the thief of health. It is. It robs you of what you could be. Because then all the things that happen because you've had this experience, whether it was the heart attack or the stroke or the diagnosis of MS or Parkinson's, whatever these things are. Autoimmune. Like, why are we waiting till we have this thing to then decide? Because now what you're doing is you're trying to combat that underlying issue and maybe all the other things that came along with it prevention. That's, I think, the biggest missing word that we have is, why are we moving into such reactive care? It's what our healthcare system has taught us.
Right.
My father-in-law during COVID ended up getting COVID. His response when he called for the ambulance was, stay at home. And I'm like, wait a second. He's like, he can't breathe. He had 105-degree temperature. And they're like, stay at home. Well, when am I supposed to call? If you pass out, have your wife call and we'll come get you.
Jesus
you mean
Christ.
Basically when you're dead?
Right.
But that's what we've been taught is like reactive.
Right.
In any industry as business owners, if we're reacting to every situation, are we ever going to survive or even thrive in business? Mm-hmm. You're not. Yeah. We put so much energy into making sure that our employees are good, that we're making the money, that we're doing all these things, and we put structure into that. Well, think of what you could do if you're putting structure into your health, how much more productive you could be, how much more energy you can put out there. And not just as owners, but like even with your employees.
Right. Like
how you can begin to set an example for them. Because I'm sure most employees are like, I'd love to do that someday. I want to be that guy, So it's just, it flows.
And you've seen it on the Facebook groups. Mm-hmm. you see this acquiesce, this transition into health with some of our contemporaries out there getting on the bandwagon, and that's great because there's some great leaders out there, and now you see these, and they're natural-born leaders, and they do things that I could never do, and now they're focused on their health, and that trickles down to their employees, to maybe even customers. When you present yourself in a way, you're healthy, you're put together, you look good, people just respond to that.
Right.
It's just the way we're hardwired.
Right.
So it's great to see our industry move into that as well. Our industry is obviously obsessed. These groups I'm talking about, they're obsessed on, make as much money as you can. And making money is not a bad thing. But if you're not healthy, like you were saying, if your body's optimized, you're optimized, chances are your business will be, your relationships will be, your employees will be, they'll follow that. So, you might think you're killing it, and with all respect to people out there, if you're, 350 pounds and you're doing a great job, I'm telling you, you could be better. You've not reached your potential.
Totally.
Right.
Well, and people often talk about their why in business is their family.
Yeah.
Right? It's the people that they're closest with.
Yeah.
And yet, inevitably, they're the ones that get the least amount of attention, the least amount of focus. I saw a quote yesterday, and was, how do your kids spell love? Time.
Yeah.
Right? They want your time. They want your attention.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that get it at the end of the day. They get the worst version of you.
Yeah.
After you're beat down, you're exhausted.
Wrecked.
Exactly. Yeah. Right? Why not put in the time, the energy, the effort to focus on your health so that you can still show up with energy, both before you go to work. Hopefully you can see them in the morning when you're at your best. And then at the end of the day, you still have something in the tank that you can give to your family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, men take PT 141.
That's for your wives.
Yeah, men, that's
or
for
ladies,
your wives. And there's
or
nothing.
ladies. Actually,
You
for
think
both men and women.
Viagra? PT 141. You're like a 16-year-old teenage boy.
Right.
I tell my friends, man, you can hang a towel on it, and it's just incredible. So that's true. So even peptides for libido for men and women. You come home, you're wrecked. At the end of the day, maybe you haven't been intimate in 2 weeks, maybe a month. I don't know, but you can fix that too naturally,
right?
In a big way.
Yes.
We had Andy Hobeika on the show from Phoenix, and he was talking about TRT and how that's something that he's doing with testosterone replacement therapy.
Yeah.
And that's been something that's another one is working on hormones.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
And that's so our company Next Level, which is our coaching and consulting, that's where we start the foundation, actually,
Right.
even before peptides. And we have some people that are utilizing peptides as well without that. But it's kind of, you have to have a foundation. Peptides are not made to change your testosterone levels. There are some that are coming out, but you have to make sure that HRT, and you've got total test, you've got free test, you've got sex binding globulin. All these things that you need to make sure are right. And really where peptides come in is once you get that foundation set, it does, and the reason we call it Next Level is because they take you to the next level. Mm-hmm. It just optimizes the things that your body is already doing well.
Right.
Which is why, and it comes to peptides, from growth hormone optimization, sleep, brain health, sexual performance, libido, a lot of these things.
You pointed at me at sexual performance. Was that a good thing?
You just talked about it for like 2 minutes. So, but yeah, there are peptides like DSIP, delta sleep inducing peptide, that there are people that are on drugs like Ambien and that you will literally go through the night and shop or drive a car. I had patients that were on these sleep drugs that would drive with their kids in the car, wouldn't even know it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the Ambien you're talking about. Yeah. That's scary.
Just numbs them to life.
Yeah.
Scary stuff.
Yeah. And so again, peptides are something that your body naturally produces.
Right.
It's just are they synthetic? They are synthetic, but they're derived and they're created to mimic the exact same peptide that your body has. And they've been utilized forever. Insulin, that's a peptide.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And oxytocin, we've heard of oxytocin, that's a peptide. Mm-hmm. You just have to make sure that you're using it in the right dosage, that you're doing. So again, research. That's where, peptide researcher comes in. It's great. We even have a peptide calculator on there that people can utilize so they can figure out the dosing and all that kind of stuff too. But yeah, HRT is essential. Getting back to that, it really is. When we work with clients that say that they don't want to address those hormones, and they just want to work with peptides or do that, usually it's about 2-3 months into it. They're like, man, I thought this would be working a whole lot better. I'm like, yes, remember when we said to run those labs and to check out where the...
Do your blood work.
They're like, oh, okay, fine.
Right.
So what they've done is, they've taken 2 steps forward, but now they're coming another step back. And we've got to readdress and reestablish that. So all important. It's, again, it's all pieces of the puzzle, and they need to be tied together.
Right.
Nutrition, exercise, hormones, peptides. How do we piece this to really get those results for people?
Right. No, and the thing that I love about all of these tools, we'll say, is they are already naturally forming in the body. But as you get older, you produce less and less.
Yeah.
Right? That's where aging comes in. And where it accelerates is when you produce even less.
Yeah.
Right? Because of diet or other things that you're taking, other chemicals you're putting into your body with medicines and things like that. So it's replicating those things that already existed when you were younger.
Yeah.
And it's helping you kind of reverse that aging process a little bit and slowing it down. I was taught when I was an athlete, I played college football, and they said the off-season training is meant to build you up as high as you possibly can be. The in-season training is meant to slow the deceleration.
Yeah.
You're no longer going on this trajectory, you're going on this trajectory as you're training throughout the off-season.
Yeah.
It's impossible to continue to build during the season because your body needs to recover after a game.
Yeah.
But it's just slowing that process. And that's the way that when I read the book, it's what opened my eyes to it. I was like, of course, it's just slowing that process even more.
And that's longevity.
That's it.
Again, that's not anti-aging.
Right.
That's longevity.
Right.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful thing. And I love peptides, so I keep mentioning, but there's one called epithalin. I mean, epithalin or
That's a great one.
epitalin, it is one that was researched by Dr. Kavinson. He's since passed, Russian scientist. It's a bioregulator, works on the pineal gland, but I mean, it is made to repair DNA. It helps to slow down that replication of those telomeres. So, you talk about our body isn't producing the same thing. I mean, we have our thymus gland that we have when we're younger. It's gone by the time we're adults. What's its function? Its immune system. Why do we have prevalence of cancer when people get older? Their immune system shot, inflammatory issues. But epithalin is one that, I mean, when it addresses and hits that pineal gland, it'll reset and release 3 different enzymes that can actually reset sleep cycles. We've had clients for women that have gone through menopause, they start their cycles again because it's literally resetting their system, which is powerful.
That's crazy.
And so
I don't know if we were actually looking forward to that.
But I want to restart my cycle again.
But when I give an example, we were actually talking about this on the way here. One of our affiliates that we work with, she wears the Whoop watch. So a lot of guys and gals wear the Whoop watch. They want to monitor, their oxygen levels, their sleep cycles, all of these things. 3 days into it, so epithalin is when you take 10 milligrams 10 days in a row. You only do it twice a year. And I'll say this, too much of a good thing can happen in almost anything, right? Again, I love Oreo cookies. They're really good, but if I eat too many, it's really bad for me and everything.
The entire box.
The entire box. Yeah, I could do 2, but we're good. But on her 3rd day, she called me. She had been dealing with mold toxicity issues, immune system deficiency, insomnia, this plethora of issues. And she calls me and she goes, this is only day 3. She goes, I have not gotten into deep REM, restful sleep over 30, I think it was 33% from what her watch was showing her. After 3 days, she was over 67%.
Wow.
And
that's a difference maker there.
That's a huge difference maker. Deep sleep for cognitive performance, for healing, for restoration. I mean, and it's been now, she's finished that cycle. It's been over 2 months, and she's still within 57 to 60% every night.
Wow.
So it's, again, we have this thing called immunosenescence. We have these, which are crazy. They're called zombie cells that go throughout our body. They're cells that basically, in a sense, die off. They think that their job is not done. So they keep going around, and they're basically inflammatory cells.
No bueno.
Yeah, it's not good. No. And so that cell replication constantly, our body is constantly breaking down. So is our rate of regeneration faster than degeneration, or are we just going down that slippery slope? And that's where, again, peptides, nutrition, exercise, all these things. In fact, we could get into a whole thing on the hope molecules. If you haven't heard of those, research hope molecules. They are released every time you work out. They're released from your muscle cells. They're legitimately called hope molecules. And we wonder why, when people exercise, the risk of depression and anxiety and stress all goes down.
Right.
That's because God put a really cool thing in us called hope molecules. So, yeah.
Gives a positive outlook. You were talking about football and breaking down. I was hoping we could segue to probably the most common, popular peptide everyone takes and talks about, the body protection compound,
BPC
157. Do you take that?
I do not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why? Wait, just don't point me out right now. No, BPC
I have looked into it. I do want to. Full disclosure. But yeah.
Weightlifter's elbow, tennis elbow, and I would put injections right into it. An injury that should have been, once you get that set in, it could be 3, 4, 5 months. And I'm talking, for me, personally speaking, 3, 4 weeks, I was back to lifting again.
Wow.
Yeah. We had a friend of ours that had a really bad injection experience into his knee. Massive fluid. They drained like 120 or 200 cc's of fluid off of his knee.
Oh my gosh.
Which is a lot. If you don't know, that is a lot.
Right.
Big old bucket.
He started utilizing BPC 157. Stands for body protection compound. It comes from gastric juices in the intestines, and it accelerates tissue repair, increases endothelial nitric oxide. So that's what's inside of your vascular system. So it gets those nutrients to that area. He ended up going through surgery. They had to replace. I mean, the fluid was so much it ruptured his ACL. Not from running or
just
pivoting,
pressure.
just the pressure. Think about that. So started utilizing BPC before he went through the surgery. Within 3 weeks, he's like, my doctors asked me, what did you do?
Right.
Because this is healing way too fast.
Right.
So people that are dealing with chronic inflammation, that have joint-related injuries,
That's just not new injury. That's old injury.
Oh yeah, chronic
Right.
injuries.
Yeah.
And it's just a sub-Q injection. Belly, upper thigh. Some people inject, behind the arm. With BPC, there's also one called TB500, thymosin beta 4.
What do you call that when you combine them together?
The best combo in the world, the Wolverine.
Wolverine.
They call it the Wolverine. So, but that one, like that TB500, I mean, it increases, it's called extracellular matrix. It's what is like the foundation that kind of holds things in place. So collagen, fibrinogen, all of that. So we'll have people that'll inject right at the site of injury or around that site. And I mean, the response is sometimes within days.
Wow.
People are like, this is a friend of ours, actually. Was scheduled for surgery on her heel. She was at your house.
I haven't asked. How's she doing? I haven't got an update.
Yeah. She was at the school yesterday, and she was parked talking to somebody. So I just opened up the passenger door, sat in. I'm like, so how you doing?
Is she doing better?
She's doing better.
And she had a horrific injury.
She was scheduled for surgery, actually.
She was, I won't name her name, but she's a great friend of my wife, great friend of ours.
So we can't say, yeah.
But, at my house before, my house got destroyed by a tornado, I had a big bluff and it went down pretty sharp to the water. Well, it was July 4th and she was doing something silly and went down the hill and then just ruptured her Achilles.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
And she kind of ignored it. And well, it began to swell and it had a really large bump. And that's when she approached you.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have surgery. What can we do?
Yeah.
And she's trying to avoid surgery now.
So she had a bone spur on the back of her heel. The Achilles tendon, soleus, comes down. And then if you've got your heel, it wraps underneath. Yeah, you're the soleus. Come on, guys. You got to, wraps underneath and it attaches underneath the heel.
Right.
But it's also attached on the back of the heel. So she has this lump. I mean, marble size, sitting there, and it's just been rubbing. And they're like, well, we need to go in. We need to shave this down. She's like, I've got this vacation. I've got my kids. She goes, I just don't want to do a surgery. They're telling me I'm going to be down for X, Y, and Z. I go, I'm not going to promise you that this will work. I go, but just try it. Like, inject around it. It's been a week. And she goes, it's actually getting better. She goes, it does hurt when I inject. I'm like, well, it's because you're putting a needle. Yeah. But the first few days, painful, sore. But when I talked to her yesterday, she's like, this is incredible. It's working. So again, those past injuries, I'm sure a lot of guys in your industry probably deal with knee issues, low back issues, shoulder issues. You've got your golfer's elbow, tennis elbow. Utilizing something like that, which is, I also call BPC, it's like the multivitamin of peptides. Most people are taking it every single day.
Right.
But it's because we are constantly bombarded by injuries, tear down. So if we can do something that's going to naturally build that up, why not? And yeah, it's a simple peptide, simple injection. We've even looked at making capsules here in the near future.
We're seeing them as well. And I think one of the things that they found out with BPC, which we can talk about, which is really important, a lot of people don't take seriously, is gut health.
Right.
And can you talk a little bit on what else BPC 157 can do to our leaky gut?
Yeah, so
which a lot of us suffer from.
A lot of the research supports everything from Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, anything related within the gut. Because it is a gastric juice or derived from gastric juices, we know that our gut is constantly replicating. It's one of the fastest, besides our skin, every 21 days, our gut is the next thing, and all that absorption. And so if you're dealing with inflammation within the gut, it does help with that tremendously. And I mean, majority of issues today from anybody is just chronic inflammation.
Yep.
You know, I always ask, like, what's the number one cause of cancer? It's chronic inflammation.
It's inflammation in the body.
Chronic inflammation. It creates disarray. We talked earlier about resources, optimization, communication, and environment. Well, if your body's in a disarray of communication, what does that lead to? A state of dis-ease. What is dis-ease? It is disease. And if that communication continues to replicate, I mean, that's cancer. How do you stop that? You know, so, and I'm not sitting here claiming anything.
We claim
nothing.
I'll put the disclaimer in the intro.
Thank you. Do your research, but really it is. It's what does the research support with these things, and they work very, very well. And their safety profile, I think that's one of the biggest things people ask. Well, how safe is it to utilize these peptides? Their half-lives, I mean, how long they're in your system, is actually very, very quick. BPC 157, I honestly think it's like 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
It's in, it does its work. The GLP-1s that people hear about with the weight loss and all that stuff, it's typically 5 days, which is why they're doing it once a week.
Right.
There are some peptides like VIP peptide, stands for vasoactive intestinal peptide. We use that for people that have chronic mold, Lyme, immune issues, lung issues. I believe it's 45 seconds is how quickly it's in your system and it's doing the work.
Hit it and quit it.
Matt, make me go off on that. But
makes sense.
It does.
It gets in there, it doesn't mess around.
Does its thing.
And then says, see ya.
But like BPC 157, if you look at like the overdose amount, it's I don't even think they found the overdose amount. You could take 50 kilos of that.
But you don't want to.
You don't want to. You don't need to ever.
Under the disclaimer.
But they're all safe, and they're very specific to the receptors that they're responding to, and they do their work and they're done.
Now, does where you get them from also impact how effective they actually are?
No, absolutely.
Because I've been seeing, like, NMN is something that I've been taking for a while, and I enjoy that. But where you get it from and how much active ingredients is still in it when you receive it is a big thing. That was why, like, NMN is a lot more popular than NAD+, which I'll let you actually describe what those are. But being the precursor of it, it was something that was easier to store for a longer period of time, was my understanding of it.
Are you taking the capsule form?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, a couple things. We get into capsules versus injections versus like IV therapies and things like that. The majority of the peptides that we discuss are like subcutaneous injection, meaning subfat, like into the belly, and then you have capsules, which are typically going to absorb maybe 30%. And it's well known. It's like you're not going to absorb. Sometimes it's less, but sourcing is always going to be important. You know, I guess with anybody that's listening to this, watching this, or looking for any supplement, we can take peptides out of the way. Sourcing is going to be essential, you know, and, you know, I will say that if you don't know where it's coming from and it's cheaper than a bag of rocks, you might want to question. I said there is a difference between a Porsche and a Pinto and a Ferrari and a Fiat. I mean, there are differences there. You get what you pay for. So there's the value of what you're doing. But a lot of peptides in the lyophilized or crystallized form, they come in vials. You have to put bacteriostatic water in it to make sure then that it's viable to be able to use. Most of that is being sourced from India, for China. It comes over here, and it truly is pennies on the dollar. You know, with our company, we're very proud. Everything is actually sourced here in the U.S., synthesized, made here, actually here in Florida.
Well, when we got together, you know, when we started this venture, I think we both agreed we weren't going to compromise on quality.
Yeah.
We weren't going to, and I'm not saying buying overseas is wrong.
Right.
But it didn't fit our business model.
Right.
Kind of now it's time for the Trump made in America.
I was going to say, you were going to get tariffed if you did that anyways, right?
Yeah.
So.
And so I think that is something, do your background checks. I mean, in anything you're going to buy, you talk about NMN as a precursor to NAD. I mean, we have NAD. I think NAD is great. If you can get it.
I do it daily.
Yeah. If you can get it, sub-Q direct, I mean, you're going to have that hit. And you feel the hit with NAD if you're doing sub-Q. It gives you a flush.
Yeah, you're gonna feel
because it's a mitochondrial enhancer.
Right.
Releases dopamine, serotonin. It's actually a coenzyme. It's not a peptide, but again, if you can get to the precursor, it's then going to release that NAD. I mean, we're excited because we're actually talking about a product that we're getting ready to launch. That's actually it's a whey protein that has a very specific cysteine bonded to it that actually is a precursor to the precursor to release glutathione.
And it has a patent as well. We're very excited about that.
Yeah.
Now I'll just real quick, not to interrupt, but my wife and I have been taking this bonded cysteine, if you will, and it comes in a morning drink, a couple packs, and a little bit of water, you shake it up, add a little more water, drink it. Well, everyone around me has been sick, my children sick, and we've elevated our glutathione levels. Yeah, I didn't want to say that, but I was on the product, you weren't. And my wife and I, we looked at each other, and I always get sick. I mean, so if my daughter comes home from kindergarten and sneezes, I know I'm out for 2 weeks. I'm like, That's it, I'm done. So, but yeah, we've not been sick at all with this. And it's a very bad flu season right now, and we've weathered it. And I attribute that to our raised glutathione levels are so high that, our body can handle whatever comes into it.
Marketing is not a gamble. It's math. And at Free Agency, we cracked the formula. At Free Agency, we don't just do marketing, we engineer growth, stacking the odds in your favor like the Billy Bean of the trades. Our system is in theory, it's been tested, refined, and scaled at the highest level. Last year, our clients averaged 45% growth, and we've taken companies from 8 to 9 figures in a single year, not by spending more, by spending smarter. Our playbook is built on 4 core strategies: scouting to dominate awareness, drafting to fill the bench with high intent leads, signing to convert efficiently, and scoring to maximize every customer's lifetime value. Every step is intentional, every dollar is tracked. And if you're spending over $1 million a year in marketing and not seeing a 10x return, you're leaving money on the table. We work with ambitious, no BS contractors who don't just want to try marketing. They want marketing that wins. So if you're ready for 50 to 100% growth in the next 12 months, let's build a game plan, because at Free Agency, we don't just play the game, we rig it in your favor. Visit freeagency.ai to book your game plan today.
When we look at a home service business, the amount of sick days that are applied to the business is incredibly impactful. When you can't get that truck on the road, the dollar figure is in the tens of thousands in terms of missing revenue potential, right? And when that gets multiplied over multiple trucks, now you're talking about an incredible impact. So being able to make sure that your technicians are healthy, your CSRs are healthy, taking care of your people, the impact on your business is exponential.
So when I had my practices, I mean, I did everything that I could to make sure that my employees were healthy as often as possible. I mean, I was a chiropractor, so I adjusted people. I'm like, every employee, they'd get adjusted every single morning.
Nice.
We had our supplements that we laid out for them, and we just made sure that they were constantly ready to go. Now, it's not always going to work that way, but as employers, we typically are paying for people's health insurance, right? We're doing the
preventative stuff.
The preventative,
not preventive, reactive.
Reactive stuff.
That's another podcast for another time.
It is.
Don't even get me started on our healthcare
But one of the things that I do say is, like, imagine what if you were to put some of these dollars that you're earning towards, in a sense, true health for your employees.
Right.
Something simple as a drink.
Right.
I'm not saying that, having all of your employees inject a peptide is going to be something that's probably feasible.
Right.
But there are peptides like thymosin alpha-1, BPC. TA1 is incredible because it releases T cells, NK cells, which basically go in and help boost immune system.
I take that 4 times a week.
Yeah.
Right.
But this glutathione activator is something that
game changer.
It's a game changer, and we're excited that we're going to be able to launch it. One of the first in the U.S. It's been in other countries. I mean, crushing, and mainly in
probably one of the most researched products outside the U.S. that the U.S. doesn't know about. We're excited.
This is even outside of peptides. But again, I'm more about biooptimization. It's not just peptides. It's what are all the things that we're doing to incorporate this. And that is one of those things that a simple drink that you can take to help detox your system and increase your productivity, have less sick days and function. I mean, it's a game changer across the board. Yeah. And anybody with kids, I mean, trust me, they're just little.
They're walking diseases.
They're like little cesspools of everything coming. I love my kids. I didn't mean to call them cesspools.
I still make my kids, like the rule is, especially my daughter, she's 6, and my boys are getting a little older and they don't have time for me. They're too cool for school. They come in and they're like, what up, Dad? And they shut their door and on their phone.
How's your day? Good.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Everything sucks. That's kind of where they're at. But my daughter, man, she's the apple of my eye, and she'll come in and from ballet or something, the first thing I tell her, still, even though I'm optimizing my health, the first thing you do is wash your hands. Go wash your hands, because I know where you came from. And then you wash your hands, I'll give you
Anytime I travel, he won't let me come to his house for like 3 days. He's like,
if you're on a cruise ship or you're traveling, I'm the guy in the bubble.
Right.
I'm like, but I'm taking my stuff.
In addition to that stuff, because no one likes being sick.
Yeah, no.
Right.
It's not always 3 days, but jokingly, we were going there.
It probably feels like 3 days.
Yeah.
Right.
I really miss Matt.
Yeah. I love this industry. I love helping people to truly optimize their health and
get results.
And get
real
results.
Right.
Yeah. The thing that I let people know is we don't sell products. We sell basically performance. We sell purpose. We sell actual production of the human body.
Right.
That's what it is. And do we use products for that? Yeah. And some of those products are as simple as just stop eating this junk and eat this.
Right.
So yeah, it's.
Can I tag a website?
Yeah, of course.
It's The Next Level. It's THE. Well,
it's
what is it?
And then NEXLVL.com.
Read it again.
Yeah. So THENEXLVL.com.
NEXLVL.com.
Yeah.
That's a great place to start, in addition to peptide researcher.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they go, well, I don't know where to start. Well, the first place you would want to start with The Next Level, get with a doctor, get with our coaches, and talk about your goals and what you want to see happen. And that's where you start.
Right. And do they have to come to Florida to see the doctor, or is it virtual?
It's virtual.
100%.
Yeah. Start with one of our wellness coordinators. I mean, you can reach out to them at just info@thenextlevel. And it is not with a T.
Yes.
So make sure I saw you were writing that down. It's like no T.
I couldn't even spell the darn thing.
Yeah. It's okay.
That was my Biden moment.
Yeah. Well, we're just trying to find something different. And there was plenty of URLs with the T in there, but I'm like, I just don't like it. Yeah. It just rolls off better. The next. So Next Level is great.
This is you trying to stay young.
This is me trying to
in URL format. All right.
Yeah. Right.
Being hip.
Yeah. Exactly.
I know. I'm going to be 44 this year.
Love our URL.
Okay, so they see the doctor. What kind of tests would you recommend, even if they don't come to the next level, but they do just want to venture down this path? They want to go see a doctor. What kind of tests would you recommend? Because if you don't have a place that you're measuring where you started from, how are you going to know if you're making progress?
Yeah, and I do want to say this, and they're not always going to be in front of a doctor. So I want to clarify, I mean, we have our wellness specialists that, interestingly enough, I know a lot of health coaches that know way more than most doctors that are out there. Right. We still monitor, we have everything looked at, but the first step, I say we test, we don't guess. So we're actually building on our site, we refer out for labs through LabCorp. It's pretty simple, basic. We look at liver enzymes, thyroid, hormones. We want to look at just the complete blood panel. We look at electrolytes.
Right.
I'm not the fan of, hey, we need to get down on a genetic level to see. And then you get 60 pages. Do you know how cumbersome 60 pages is to a layperson that, like, I'm just trying to explain to them what testosterone is, and I'm going to go through every epigenetic marker that clicks something on, clicks off.
I've done that test. What they say, time
is money?
Yeah, time is money.
And you're wasting all my time for 4 hours going through the test.
No, do you express your genes, or do your genes express you?
Oh, there you go.
It really is that positive thought and help. But
I think that's, and it's important, but we have gone, I think what has happened in the industry, this is my personal opinion, I think that the biohacking world has gone so deep into, from cryo to red light therapy and all the toys, that, like, okay, now what we really need to do is how do we get so deep that I have the best genetic test, and I have the best this, and I have and with testing, markers are markers. It's like, I'm going to know that like if my testosterone's off, we got to do this change. If my leukocytes are here, we've got to make change. I mean, genes are made to turn on and off. It depends on what we do to turn them on and off. And I don't think that you need to go that deep, because my ultimate question is, okay, I have 45 genes that are off their markers. Am I taking something different for every single 45 genes that are off?
Right.
Or do I just start eating right and exercising and see what my body does?
Get some sunlight.
It's like, we can go down a rabbit hole here. I'm going to get fired up for a second. But when people are suffering, when they're hurting, when they have dis-ease, my first question is, have you always had this? No.
Right.
Okay. Well, what has happened to get you to this point? I have no idea. How often do you eat out, like at McDonald's, or I don't know, 3 or 4 days a week? Oh, how often do you just go outside and walk?
Right.
Oh, never.
Get out and get in the sun.
Are you ever outside? Yeah. Do you get vitamin D from the sunshine? Are you out? How often do you just sit and relax? Well, never. Like, okay, you don't need 26 pages of testing on a genetic level to know to optimize somebody's health. They need to walk. They need to get outside and get the sun. They need to change what they're eating. And those things that have been off, they're going to start to come back around.
Right.
It's going to take time. But we live in a microwave society that everybody wants something right now and they want it quick. It didn't happen quick.
Right.
So it's a process like anything else. It depends on how bad you want it. And if you want it bad enough, it's going to get there.
Right.
And you just follow the guidance, because somebody fell off the wagon at one point. There are coaches to get you back on.
Right.
So
Yeah, I did the Inside Tracker test. What was it? 4 years ago now. And I loved it because it gave me my bio age. It made me feel really good about myself because I was 10 years younger than I actually was. So that felt great.
Yeah.
But yeah, giving you that indication as to what markers are where and what can you do, and all of the insights on it were food related or some over-the-counter supplement related. So it was very basic, which was great because it gave me something to go off of. But I do think having that benchmark in place of where are you starting from, and then what's your goal, similar to what you talked about, where do you want to go, right? If you don't have that plan in place, you're getting in the car, you're driving in a direction, hoping that you end up somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And if you don't have that plan in place, you don't have that system in place, you don't have that coach that's there to guide you along the way and course correct, you're going to end up somewhere and you might not like where you are.
Yeah.
So I love.
Yeah. It's, we hire business coaches to get us to a goal.
Right.
But yet we often have a hard time hiring a health coach to get us to a goal.
Right.
But you're not going to get that business goal if your health is going this way.
Right.
So it's a good point. But yeah, I mean, I think that, again, testing is it's a foundation point.
Exactly.
That's really all it is.
Yeah.
It's to let us know where we're at now. Because you could take your blood test today, you could take it tomorrow, it's going to look different.
Yeah,
that's how quickly we change.
Absolutely.
So it's not a definitive. But yeah, I guess the other side of it is most of these genetic tests can cost upwards of $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, which you haven't even started care or done anything yet. I'm like, what? Where you can get the right baseline blood panel that maybe costs you $300.
Right.
And this is a guiding track. If we don't get results or change, maybe we do need to dig deeper. But that typically isn't the case.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's a great place to start for anyone, because to spend a couple $100s to understand what's going on inside. And then, if you can't afford all of the peptides that you should be taking or the hormone replacement therapy, at least you've got a good understanding of what's going on. And then what changes can we make just naturally by going outside, meditating, having quiet time, whatever that looks
Walking
like.
outside.
That's it.
Yeah.
Which is a form of meditation, by the way. It's not some esoteric voodoo bullshit thing that a lot of people think it is. Just taking that time to pause and just be quiet and just go for a walk.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ground yourself.
Appreciate what's going on around you. Have a heart of appreciation and gratitude.
That's it.
Little things like that. And I don't know how much time we have, but we haven't talked about food, diet. Like the U.S. food pyramid is completely upside down. Like seed oils, vegetable oils.
Yeah.
You should increase your salt intake, your sea salt intake dramatically.
Yeah.
Eat eggs.
Travel with my Celtic sea salt. Yeah.
Eat eggs, eat beef. The magnesium, which is so important for the brain. Yeah, I think, there's people passionate about getting it dialed in. When you get it dialed in, the quality of life is so much better.
Right. No, that's exactly it.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to talk and highlight, you've talked about a couple, BPC 157 being one. What are some that people would need to bring to their doctor and say, these are ones that I'm curious about, and start to get some feedback from them if they're going to their doctor instead of coming to next level?
Depends on the doctor.
Right, of
It
course.
really depends on the doctor.
One thing that we've noticed is a lot of medical doctors now just absolutely embracing peptides.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's to say there's a lot of medical doctors that would call this, it's not real.
Yeah.
Not real medicine. So you got to be careful,
Yeah, you got to be careful. I think
Well, that's where the discernment comes in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this because I get this a lot. They're like, well, I want to take this to my, when I was a chiropractor, I'm still technically a chiropractor, but when I was practicing, I would go through a care plan with somebody. This is what we're going to do. And they're like, I'm going to take this to my doctor. I'm going to ask them what they think.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, that's great. It's also going to be an opinion,
Yeah.
which is what they think.
Yep.
And half the time, they have no idea.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So most doctors, not all, most doctors, when they don't know, what do you think their responses typically are?
No,
Don't do it.
don't do it.
Well, it's what they're taught.
It is.
That's it.
They're
Yes.
indoctrinated.
Well, and
So-
most MDs, especially in family medicine, spend at most 3 days on
Yeah.
nutrition.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just not something that they studied
all.
heavily.
And as we have this recording right now live, RFK is trying to be confirmed, which we're pretty excited about. We
Yeah.
think that'd be great for America and the world
Absolutely.
to rethink our food, to rethink our health industry. And I hope by the time we get done, I look on my phone, I hope to see we get a confirmation. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, but to get to your question on which ones, honestly, there's very few that you actually need. I mean, there are a lot of doctors that prescribe peptides, but there's very few that, if taken even improperly, would cause harm. Now, the ones that you really want to make sure that you're cautious with are things like GLP-1s, the weight loss ones.
The semaglutide.
Semaglutides, tirzepatides, those types of peptides. Now, the reason why is because they can cause severe nausea, they can cause constipation, acid reflux. We've heard in the news a lot about, like Ozempic face, or these things that are out there.
Eating away your muscle.
Muscle deterioration. Well, I said, put a picture of somebody that's anorexic and somebody that has that look to them. They look exactly the same. The reason why is because they're not being monitored properly by their doctor, and they're just given something to lose weight super fast. Well, your body doesn't burn fat first. It doesn't. It's going to burn sugar. It's going to burn glucagon, glucose. And where is most of that stored? Muscle tissue.
Muscle, yeah.
So it's going to pull all of that out. And people that are then suffering from the nausea and these other things, some simple things, vitamin B12 will help with that. Lowering your dose, that's the thing. You don't have to increase dosage on that either. And make sure that you're getting good protein. Now, a lot of these GLP-1s in microdosing actually will increase things like mTOR and muscle activation. I'm on one right now. I don't look skinny. I think I'm somewhat skinny. I am lean. I have built muscle.
The white is leaning. Yeah.
It's the tan.
Yeah.
It's there's a peptide for that too. A melanotan too. It does.
Oh yeah, you can get a tan.
Sunless tanning.
You don't need the sun. You can take melanotan too.
And melanotan 2 was actually developed specifically to help with prevention and helping with skin cancer.
Right.
So it releases
It's a natural
the
tan.
melanin. Yeah,
It's
it's
the
a
same
natural
process.
tan. Yeah. It also has other effects because of its release mechanisms on libido and
Where they drive
ghrelin.
PT 141. We tied it back to that again. Praise God.
We did tie it back.
talk about that.
But growth hormone secretagogues is another one. So you've got your weight loss ones, but the things like testosterone, sermorelin, ipamorelin, CJC, these are all growth hormone secretagogues. We can dive into a whole other thing on these because you have growth hormone releasing hormone peptides and you have growth hormone releasing peptides.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
Right.
But with those, you do want to make sure that you are dosing those properly.
Right.
I have myself accidentally given myself too much because I didn't reconstitute the fluid right, so the concentration was stronger. And what happened was I got flushing all over me, like a red rash.
Right.
If you've ever taken a pre-workout drink, that beta-alanine,
Yeah, the tingling.
itchy, tingly,
Yeah.
it was like that.
Right.
Lasted about 20 minutes and then gone. I will tell you, when I did that, though, I had the best night's sleep I have ever had. Because what do? I mean, when we're young, 16, 17, 18, we have natural growth hormone that's being released.
Right.
It helps with your sleep patterns. It helps with recovery, mental clarity, muscle strength, stability, all of that, which they're very, very good for that. So I'm like, I had this massive release of growth hormone into my body. What'd I do? I slept like a baby. It was amazing. I woke up, I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, and I'm going to adjust my dose next time.
Right.
Because I didn't like that itchy. But again, the half-life of peptides is so quick. So the profile of them, because your body naturally makes them, they're extremely safe.
Right.
So, yeah. So those are the two main ones that I would say that you want to look at. If they're going to ask their practitioner, their provider, hey, I'm looking at wanting to do this. What are your thoughts? Again, most of them are going to say, I have no idea. I don't even know what that is.
Take this pill instead.
Yeah. They could do that.
They could do that.
Yeah.
They could do that. They typically do that.
Well, as a good practitioner, they should be like, well, why are you thinking about taking it? What is it that you're looking to do?
Right.
Because that to me is an open door for practitioners, like something's going on, that they're looking for something. So it could be something that they're doing.
Yeah, I don't know about Canadian television, but in American television, I mean, you turn it on and it's like every third ad is a new prescription, new drug. With some preposterous name.
Oh, yeah.
And it
The
promises,
side effect. That always gets me.
And then the very last one, and possible death.
Right? I love when the thing that they're trying to cure is one of the side effects.
Yeah. If you're allergic to X, Y, and Z, don't take X, Y, and Z. Wait, you just said how would I know if I'm allergic to that?
Right.
If I haven't taken it?
I heard one.
Don't worry, you'll find out.
Yeah, exactly.
They were rattling through, and I had to rewind and listen. I was like, did they just say leaky anus?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I don't want that.
That is an effect. That's not a side effect. That is an effect.
Well, a lot of people don't realize, like statin drugs, okay?
Right.
One of the most prescribed things that are out there, the number one side effect of that is muscle deterioration, rhabdomyocytis. Do you know what your heart's made out of, guys?
No,
It's muscle.
Yeah, just muscle tissue.
Well, what are your vessels made out of? Muscle.
Right.
Yeah. So, again, it's crazy, but that is the industry.
Right.
It's not about health, you know? So, is what it is. We just keep doing what we're doing, keep helping people.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, one last message I want to make sure we hit home on is to contractors bringing awareness back to their technicians. Mm-hmm. How would you recommend someone who is the leader of an organization who is taking steps to wanting to improve their health? How do they start to bring that up with their team? How do they start to have those conversations so that we can keep our team members healthy? Like, this is our family. These are the people that we're responsible for on a daily basis. And, I talk about it all the time on the show that ignorance is not bliss, ignorance is pain. Yeah. Right? When we don't know what we don't know, it's incredibly painful. So it's on us as leaders to be able to share this message with our team, get them checked out, and all of that. So how would you recommend someone start who is the leader of a team?
I'll just say, I'm really big on communication and transparency, right? You don't want to, you just want people to understand, hey guys, this is what I'm going to do, and these are the reasons why I want to do it, and then they start seeing change, and people naturally want to be healthier.
Right.
And when you're not healthy, you're not healthy.
Right.
And you have no energy, you have brain fog, you're lethargic, you make excuses, you procrastinate, you're angry. I mean, all those things are connected. So I would say, and I'll let you finish with it, but I would say communicate, be honest. Hey, guys, these are things I struggle with. And as a business owner, I care for you, and this is our brand, and I'm going to do these things because I think there's a better path.
Right. Love that.
It's the same thing. It's setting by example, truly. I think of it, whether it's business or parenting, it's like I want my kids to see a healthy dad, that he is functioning, like thriving, not sick or ill. And I think the same thing happens in business is our employees, not that they're your children, but like if you set an example, then they're going to start noticing it, and they're going to start asking the questions. And I think sometimes it is as simple as like, hey, what are you guys doing for your health? I mean, I'm assuming there's team meetings. There's that gathering before you go out. My dad was a contractor. He was a master electrician, master plumber. He's one of those guys that goes all out. And so he's like, yeah, every morning we have our meeting and we're this. And I'm like,
which is pretty common.
Yeah.
Common.
I mean, and that's the point. It's like, what are you guys doing for your health? Why don't we set a precedence here? My thought is, as you said, I mean, you have one truck down, that could be $10,000. If you have two, that could be 20. You have three, it could be 60. Who knows? Because there's that compounding effect to it. But what if, as a business owner, you said, you know what? We want to be the healthiest X, Y, and Z in this city. I mean, just think what you could do. I used to go into churches and I would host these max makeovers. And I'd go through and I would teach on nutrition, exercise, because I said, well, what if the pastor was the healthiest pastor in this town?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then the people in the congregation followed that health example. Because I'll tell you, I've seen plenty of cardiologists that are 300 and 320 pounds. Mm-hmm. And yet we're supposed to listen to this person and do what they say.
Right.
So lead by example. I mean, sometimes it's not even saying anything. It's just the transition of the body. It's like, man, what are you doing?
I want what he has.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, I'm with that. How did you get to become the boss? How did you get to this level? How did your physique get to that? It just comes from living it and doing it. So
I love it.
I know it's pretty simple, but I think it's also doesn't have to be complicated.
No, it doesn't. And it does start with you, right? There's thousands of proverbs and things like that come to mind, and different analogies and all of that. But it really, at the end of the day, if you want to change everyone else around you, it starts with yourself, and it creates that ripple effect, and it spreads out. Tommy Mello is a great example of that.
Tommy's killing it.
He really is. He came on the show last summer, and we did talk about his health journey and why he was doing it and what he was doing. And he was taking peptides, and he was going to see his doctor on a regular basis to make sure that he was getting blood work done and getting taken care of. He got the personal trainer, got the nutritionist. Yeah. He wanted to do all those right things. And now you see that trickle down with his team because he is talking about it. Yeah. He's going live. He's doing push-up competitions in the office.
That's great.
That's amazing.
Just little things can make a big difference. And when you bring awareness to it, now at least it creates the opportunity for a technician to say, could I do this differently?
Yeah, I noticed his sleeves are getting a little tighter. He may have to start making some custom shirts.
Right.
Which he could easily afford.
He could. He could. Awesome. Any last things that you want to leave our audience with before we go?
Honored to be able to be here to speak and to share my passion and our passion with this industry and what we're trying to do. I would just say, I mean, if anything, leaving with just find one thing.
Right.
When it comes to your health, one thing, because too many people try to do all things.
Everything.
And if you can pick one and say, this is my intention on this one, and it could be a motivation, like daily motivation to meditate, to change one food thing. It doesn't have to be even a peptide. I don't really care what it is. Just one thing, because once you start down that path, everything else starts to trickle. So
I love it.
Yeah, I agree. It's great to be here. I look at my journey, and what I would say is, if you're watching this podcast and if you're lost, if you're confused, if you think you're stuck in some sort of quagmire, there's a way out. I'm really big. We talked about it several times. Get out and walk every day. If you can get your life, in a position where you can get up and you can walk for 30 minutes to start your day and have a heart of gratitude and appreciate what God has given you, find the good in things, that's going to help your mental component quite a bit. And then you can start looking at other areas. You can get a hold of us, if you will, or Evan, and say, hey, I've got some questions about my health. I've got some questions about my mental makeup. And we can maybe try to put you in areas where you can improve.
No, I appreciate that a lot. I love the book, The One Thing, with Gary Keller, and he talks about that exact same thing. He's like, find that 2-inch domino.
Yeah.
Right? The thing that's so easy that it could take the gentle flick and the trickle effect of that will carry on.
Get that victory.
That's it, right? And sometimes that 2-inch domino, it's not even going for a walk. Put your shoes out the night before.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you see that, now it becomes easier to then put them on and go for the walk.
Make your bed.
I lay my workout clothes out the night before.
Right.
In fact, I lay all my kids' clothes out the night before. It's like, you guys just got to get up and get them on.
Oh, yeah. You lay yours out? That's funny. I sleep in mine.
Oh. Shoes and everything? Because
yes, I do.
I do my hair before I
don't wear shoes.
go to bed.
I'm not going to walk in the gym barefoot.
I brush my teeth before I go to bed. Wait, no,
we're going to do that.
This is just a competition now. That's all it is. Awesome. Well, I appreciate both of you guys. Thank you for coming on. Thanks for making the trip up. Yeah. I know you guys drove up here to record with me today. I really appreciate it a lot. This was an incredibly valuable conversation. It was something that I was passionate about, something I was excited about to bring to the trades and bring to contractors and technicians around, because Like I said, you got one life to live. Why not feel as good as you possibly can the entire time?
Maximize it, man.
That's
This
it.
is the only body you have.
That's it.
It's the one. It's the temple. So
Yeah.
yeah, treat it well. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
If you like this show and you want to hear more, make sure you go hit the like and subscribe button. Go hit that share button and go introduce this show to someone else that you think might benefit from also listening to the episodes. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.